It's time to get up off your knees and get up on your feet. I just want to see you dance. Work your body to that beat.
All right, everyone, welcome to round 13 of season 5 here of the SRM Esports. Today we will be racing in Canada, a very interesting track. The first ever Grand Prix held was in 1978, and we will do a short qualifying with a 35 lap afterwards, which will be a 50% race. The circuit length in total is going to be 4.3 kilometers to complete one lap, and the total race distance will be 152 kilometers. The best quali record was in 2019 by Sebastian Vettel with a 110.2. Then the best lap record was also by Sebastian Vettel, I think, in 2019, which was a 113.0. I'm not sure if anyone is going to beat that today because obviously the cars are a little bit slower than a few years ago, but the drivers haven't driven this track for, well, a couple of years. I think since 2019, the first Grand Prix since then was in 2021, so they haven't driven there in 2020 and 2000. Yeah, it's something like that. Doesn't really matter. Schumacher and Hamilton have both won the Grand Prix 7 times. As I said already, we are in Canada with a total inhabitants of 38,499,358. The best overtaking opportunities, my apologies, will happen in turn 1 and 2, which is a hard braking zone to the left, then to the right with a good, what should I call it? Traction zone? I'm not sure if I should call it traction zone, but if you have good traction coming out of corner 2, you should be able to make an overtake. Going into turn 3, then we are seeing turn 6, which is a little bit of a how do I say this? It's a slow left-hander, but not too slow, and you have many room to overtake, so that's great to see. And then in turn 10, hard braking zone, a little bit of a U-turn, and then going on to the main straight, where you will have DRS, and then you will be able to make an overtake into turn 14. And I see that the drivers are already on track, so let's get to that. So I'm gonna get the volume up a little bit because we want to see, well, we want to hear the cars, of course. We're not here to hear nothing, quite obviously. We're gonna get the full track, and it seems like a couple of guys are already out, and we're seeing Friendly Dutch, Keidel, Ram, Basketball, and Dundries, and it seems like Thibaut is already on the lap, but he didn't manage to keep his car on track, so he is invalidated this lap. Very unfortunate. And let's have a look. It doesn't seem like Marky is gonna be here today, as I see in the chat that he is cheering for Dopey, his main rival in the championship at the moment. So if he's gonna score some good points today, that will do great for the championship battle, because of course we want to extend the battle till the end of the end of the season. That's gonna give some great sparks than the last race. Gonna get a quick look at what the end of the season is going to look like. Let's have a quick look. It's gonna take a while before I find it though. Let's have a quick look. And it is gonna be last race of the season, Japan, and it's going to be a sprint race, so that's quite interesting to see. The race in front is going to be the United States, but we still got many tracks coming, because I think it's a calendar of 22 races, or maybe 20, I'm not quite sure, but I think every race is on the calendar, so that's great to see. Friendly Dutch on the lap right now. The Red Bull driver hasn't performed very well the last few races. Kylo puts in the fastest lap at the moment. I think I forgot to say, but it's going to be a short qualifying, so that means there's only a qualifying of 18 minutes and not Q2, Q3. Basketball just put in a 1:15.5. As we want to have a quick look at some drivers there. POV, who's going to come across the line. I think it's one of the Ferraris. It's either going to be Steve or Walsey, and I think it's going to be Steve who's going to set himself up. He's going to give a little toe to the Red Bull driver, it seems like. I think it's Ram who's going to put a lap in. Didn't he exceed track limits there? It doesn't seem like it. As we want to take a quick look at how Steve is going to take things. Going to lower down the volume, because always the POV volume is so loud. It bothers me really. He doesn't take the curb too nicely there, not going on the inside curb, but maybe a little bit wider to have a great exit coming out of that corner, touching the curbs there on the inside, touching the curb on the outside. That should give you some great speed to go flat out here. And coming into turn 8, let's have a look. Having great traction coming out of that corner. He does have the DRS, he has plenty of ERS, although I think he's not going to have enough to complete his lap. He is touching the curbs very nicely. Let's have a look. There is a driver in front of him, and it seems to be the Red Bull driver, but he's leaving a lot of space, so that's great to see. As Steve didn't touch the curb there, but I don't think it gains you many time if you touch the curb there, so that's great done from Steve. And it seems like this lap is pretty fast though. I didn't see him make many mistakes except for that turn 1. I'm not sure how I should call it. It was turn 2 though. Ooh, this is, ooh, yeah, you saw it from the moment he steered into that corner. He lost the back and he puts in a 1:12.1, so that costed him a few tenths. And also here in turn 2, he went very wide. Ooh, having a little incident with the McLaren driver that could give a 5 grid penalty. That's not okay. But I mean, yeah, it might be a little miscommunication between the McLaren driver and the Ferrari driver, but I simply think the Ferrari driver didn't see Michael. So that might be a restart of the session. I'm not quite sure, to make sure that the grid is complete. As we want to get back to other drivers, of course, we've got Richard just coming across the start-finish straight. putting in a 111.1, and it seems like Ram is the fastest driver at the moment, beating Richard with almost 5 tenths, and that's, I mean, it's a great lap. It's a great driver. He has posted something about his lap in the Discord channel, and a lot of guys were impressed, so that means he is one of a driver. Let's have a look. Dopey Lemons is on a lap. It seems like, I'm not sure if he's going fast though. Yeah, Steve, quite an interesting thing what he did there, but Dopey coming across the wall of champions, I think it's called. Let's have a look at Friendly Dodge. Didn't improve, so that's not gonna be a good lap from him. Steve is on another lap. It doesn't seem like he is coming into the pits, and I think the first driver who's gonna put a lap in is gonna be Michael, but he didn't have a great exit coming out of that corner. Let's have a quick look how he's gonna nail this circuit. He's taking a lot of curb there, going very wide. I think it's something. Ooh, he lost the traction there, so that's not gonna be a great lap from him, and I don't think he should continue this lap. And we've got a Aston Martin crossing past Michael, so he is on a lap right now. So we want to analyze how he is taking every corner, and you see in that corner there on the outside, you see a little bit of a free spot, like an open spot where you can turn your car into, have a better entry into that left-hander. And right now he's very careful on the throttle, and that seems to be really helpful with traction at the moment, because I know a lot of guys were a little bit struggling with the traction here, as he just puts in the fastest second sector, Starless. I'm just gonna call him Starless. He's one of the new drivers, I think. I haven't seen him around yet. Also with Kegelaars. Is there anyone else new? It doesn't seem like it. Yeah, Ram, of course, but he is just flying across the map. Starless is gonna put a good time in though. 112.6, so that will put him 8. Yeah, then we've got drivers like Keidel and Dundries who are currently on a lap. Dundries is 300 slower, but he might be able to beat his time in the second and third sector. I'm not sure. He didn't go too wide there on the entry, and that might have costed him a little bit of time on his previous lap. Maybe also this lap. Seems like he's 12 thousandths faster, and it's really depending on how you take that turn 10, because it's a really difficult corner to nail, and especially yeah, in the race, you need a good exit coming out of that corner. You will be overtaken here on this long straight, because it's a very long straight, and it's a great overtaking opportunity. Taking a lot of curb on the inside there, and I think that gained him a little bit of time. He's going to put in a 111.3, improving by 3 tenths, so that will place him 5th, but he didn't gain any positions. He did gain a few tenths, but it's not going to be enough. But he is gonna strengthen his position at the moment. He has got Dundries. No, it's going to be Keidel, who is improving by 1/10. So that's great to see. It was actually the other driver, Fardba, who was putting in the lap. And I think Keidel is running no ABS, so that's great to see. Who's going to take pole? I think it's going to be Ram. He's just showing some great pace today. 110.6. I don't think anyone is going to come near 110. Maybe Keidel, because he's improving by quite a bit. Oh, he's coming into the pits. So that's not going to be a better lap for him. And I think, yeah, Ram is looking very strong. And yeah, maybe drivers like Thibaut. Dopey is maybe going to improve a little bit. Richard is also known as a very fast driver, as I think he's improving a little bit right now. So we're going to have a quick look at his POV, how he's going to take every corner here. He's touching a lot of curbs, and what I noticed with Richard, when he is taking the curbs, he lets his cars... Ooh, it seems like my stream is disconnected. I hope I'm back. Can you guys let me know if I'm back, because my OBS was disconnected. Richard is coming across the line at the moment. But yeah, what I was saying, Richard is a driver coming across the line with a 110.8, so improving by 3/10, coming a little bit closer to Ram, but it was not going to be enough. And what I said was, yeah, Richard is a driver that goes into the corners and slides his car through the corner, as you can see, which carries more speed throughout the corner. Coming out outside, well, on the exit of the corner, it doesn't gain you more speed because you have a little bit of a traction problem but that's something these drivers are really used to. I'm not gonna say, well, it's not really used to, but as a driver myself doing this strategy or tactic, I'm not sure how I should call it, you get used to it race after race. And yeah, if you're good at it, you really gain more and more time, because I usually prefer medium traction control with this strategy, because you can go onto the throttle quite easily, as you saw Richard do himself right now. He was very high on RMP, I think it's called RPM, which will basically slide your back of your car. And yeah, that's just giving you so much time throughout the corner. Not on the exit though. Let's have a look. Steve into the barrier right now. And he had a little incident with Michael previously, so I think Michael is going to be furious at the moment. And there might be some discussions in the pit lane. But yeah, we're gonna see that after the race, and maybe after the race results, because it could cost Michael a few positions, because right now he is in P8. He's got a 5 place grid penalty, so it will put him in P13, so that's second last. Yeah, I think he's gonna be furious. Friendly Dutch right now, fourth position. So Friendly Dutch is a great driver, but I think he's got some problems with his concentration recently, or maybe it's his mentality to drive till the end of the race, because he's always one of the faster drivers in qualifying, but he doesn't seem to keep that sequence in the actual race, as he is always finishing second last. I think he was top 10 last race, but it didn't really. Well, he had a little incident with, I think it was Fardba. Not quite sure. Yeah, he's showing some great pace at the moment. I think he's practiced a little bit, because he's got 2 wheels, and I think he's on the big one right now, because he is just showing some miraculous, I think that's the word, miraculous pace, compared to what he's used to drive. And maybe it's his track, you don't know. But yeah, he's very fast today. Heidel is fast too, and it seems like the Red Bulls are showing some great pace. Friendly Dutch P4, and Ram still in P1 with a 110.6. So yeah, he's beating out the competition. One of the newer drivers in this league. I think, what is he called? Bob Ross. I'm not sure in the Discord, but yeah, he has a very interesting name in the PlayStation. But yeah, he's showing some great pace. I mean, 110.6. I don't think many drivers can do that, as the actual quality record on this track is a 110.2. There are some other drivers on track right now. Keitel is improving a little bit, but he invalidated his lap, so that's not great. We've got a little bit of a swarm here, as it seems like Dundries is gonna drive in front of the Bob Ross. That was it, yeah. Dundries is coming into the pits. Watch out for the braking zone perfectly, as Fardba is gonna try and go a little bit faster. I don't think he has enough fuel. I'm not sure why he didn't come in. Not sure why he's slowing down, because he's not going full throttle, as that might cost him a few positions. I'm not sure what he's up to at the moment. Heidel is in the pits, who is on a lap. Dopey Lemons, he's going quite slow to make room for the... Ooh, there was a little bit of a miscommunication between the two, because I think they're going to drive side by side. But Dopey Lemons definitely doesn't want any risks at the moment, because he is having a battle with Marky for the championship. Let's have a quick look at the standings. I'm only gonna put the top 10, as this is going to be your standings for the moment. Marky is gonna be in P1 with 253 points, and after that it's gonna be Dopey Lemons with 220, I think it is. So he should get some great points today, because I mean, even if he gets P1, he's only gonna get 25 points closer, but he's still going to be trailing with 8 points. So that's not, well, I mean, it's a great effort you should put into this race, because especially if Marky isn't here, it's going to be 3 points, and I'm a little bit nervous in his place, because especially when Dopey is going to crash, I'm going to feel very, very sad for him, because I really, I mean, I think he was my first driver with driver of the day. He was the first driver that had a great performance during my first stream ever. So yeah, I really hope he's gonna put some great performance in today, especially for the championship battle with Marky, because that gives great sparks going into the season ender. But yeah, Marky especially, he is putting in some great work recently, getting race wins, getting podiums race after race, and yeah, it's really um, going pretty well for him at the moment, leading the championship with 253 points. And I think the third driver is Dundries. He's right now in the lobby. He's sixth with a 111.3, and he's trailing by 53 points on Marky. So yeah, he is not gonna get really close today. Maybe if he gets the race win, but he's got some fast drivers in front of him, such as Keidel, friendly Dutch, known for his very good defense. Dopey, who is a little bit of an aggressive driver. Well, he's patient, but when he goes for a move, he's a little bit aggressive. Then we've got Richard, who is just one of the most consistent driver I've seen. He scores points race after race. And then we've got Ram, the new driver. I'm not sure what I can tell about him, but I do know he has got some great base. I'm not sure if that's really representable a quali lap compared to a actual race lap. But yeah, if he's this fast in the race, I mean, props to him. He is showing some great pace. Who Steve is out. I think he he had a crash. We're gonna have a quick look. Ah, we missed him. He was on the left side of Friendly the Dutch, who is currently on the lap. And I think he's not improving, 93,000 slower. Let's have a look, because he's got the Mercedes driver behind him, but I think he slowed down. And that might be Fardba actually. And Heidel is coming into the pits. He was improving by 800s. And I think he had an incident with a Alfa Romeo driver there. Or was it the Haas driver? I don't think it was the Alfa Romeo driver, and that must be a pity one for him, as he lost a bit of time there. We're gonna have a quick look. Michael comes across the line with a 111.1. I don't think anyone else is gonna improve, as we my apologies guys, I'm not sure what's up with my Wi-Fi at the moment, but I think it was because my phone was connected too, so I disabled that, and it should be all good for the actual race. So yeah, another little summary of what's going to happen in the actual race. What's the grid looking like? P1 for Ram with a 110.6, and behind him it's going to be Richard and Dopey. Michael in P4, Friendly Dutch, Keidel, Dundries, Fardba, Steve, and to finish off the top 10, it's going to be Paul's Got Ball. And we've got Thibaut, a fellow Belgian driver. I'm a Belgian too, so that's great to see. Kegelaars too. Yes, that's going to be not a great thing for Belgium, because they're not in the points currently, but they might be able to do some great things in the actual race, as we're going underway for the Canadian Grand Prix here of season 5, round 13 of the SRM Esports League. I'm gonna have a little more information about the strategy I would pick, because I usually make a little strategy chart. And before you're gonna think, what kind of strategy chart is this, don't look at the third strategy. It was a little bit of a new thing, because I mean, everyone picks medium hards these days, but I think a soft medium strategy is still doable, especially on a track like Canada, where you don't have much tire degradation. Going for a extension of your soft tires going onto medium tires, it's really doable. But yeah, of course, the fastest is going to be medium hard strategy. But yeah, it depends on when the safety car is. Because if it's later during the race, you're still on your softs, you're gonna be able to go onto medium tires. But yeah, you will also be able to go on hard tires, but you will be a little bit faster at the beginning of the race, and then at the beginning of the safety car. And in my opinion, track position is really good at this track. But yeah, not too much, because you got many overtaking opportunities, but it's really coming in handy in some corners, especially in sector 2. where you don't have many overtaking opportunities. Then we've got the second strategy, a soft hard strategy, and that's basically for a very early safety car. So if you go for, like, let's say it's going to be a safety car around lap 5 till 10, just go into hard tires because you won't be able to make those mediums till the end. But if it's going to be a safety car around 35 laps, it was, right? Let's say a safety car around lap 15, you're still on your soft, just go into medium tires and you will be able to make the end of the race, as the tire degradation is not too hard here on Canada. But yeah, as I said, usually the guys take a medium hard or hard medium strategy. A hard medium strategy is going to be interesting because I think there's going to be an early safety car around lap 5, lap 10, because I know there are a few drivers that are having some problems with keeping their car on track, and it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be all depending on the safety cars. I'm not sure what the settings are like with the safety car. I think it's gonna be standard, which is usually an indicator that there is gonna be a safety car. So yeah, it's really the things the drivers have to keep in mind. A little more information about the track. It is gonna be Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, best overtaking opportunities. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 6, and turn 10. And as I said, yeah, sector 2 is going to be difficult. Only the first corner in sector 2 is going to be all right to make an overtake, which is going to be turn 6. But then especially into that hard braking zone, right-hander there in sector 2, the blue zone, it's going to be difficult. You have so less space to make an overtake work, and I don't think it's going to be possible. Then we've got that hard braking zone, the U-turn in sector 3. It's the yellow zone where you are having a long straight afterwards, so you really have to make sure that you have a great exit coming out of that corner. So what drivers tend to do is go a little bit wide, a little bit deeper into that corner, so you will have a little more traction coming out of that corner, and then you're a little bit faster on the straights. But it's also depending on how much slipstream you've got. Then in sector 1, you see the red zone. Right after the start finish straight, there's going to be a hard braking zone into sector 1, turn 1, my apologies, where we tend to see a lot of crashes recently, the past few races in turn 1. And I think this is going to be a big one too, because, I mean, obviously in Canada you don't have much space to go around car, and if someone crashes in front of you, you're basically fucked because you don't have anywhere to go except for in the grass. But that's a great risk too, as the drivers are lining up at the moment. They're still warming up their tires, so we got a little bit more information for you about the standings, as I'm gonna get that up real quick. So yeah, I just lined it up real quick. It's not looking great, but it is what it is. So at the right hand side, we've got the championship points, P1 till P10. Then we've got in the middle the championship points from P11 till P24. And at the left side, you can see the championship points, the constructors points, my apologies. It's gonna be Aston Martin at the front, and it's very unfortunate because we lost a driver like Stat. Yes, that was just an amazing driver. He scored a couple of points, as we need to get into the race real quick. My apologies, guys. There we go. 5 red lights here for the Canadian Grand Prix. They're out, and we're going underway. Round 13 of Season 5 SRM Esports at the moment. It seems like there are already a few overtakes happening. It seems to be going clean all the way, as the drivers are next to each other, looking very great. Doesn't seem like anyone has crashed. It seems like it does. Steve, who lost the car on track, very unfortunate. Let's get back to the front here, as it seems like Ram had a great start. Dopey Lemon's right behind him, and I think Richard has lost 1 place. Dondries has made up 1 place, as they're going underway here for sector 2. And he's going to make a move down the inside. Is it going to work? That's going to be the question. Dundries on Keidel at the moment. Is he going to leave enough space? It does seem like it. He went a little bit wide coming into that corner, as he's under attack right now from the Mercedes driver, making a move down the inside. and the other Mercedes driver has to watch out because he's got his teammate right behind him, Dundries, with a little bit of wheel banging, not a real problem, as we're seeing Michael crashed out in sector 2. Very unfortunate, but he's going very slow at the moment. And we're going back to the front here as we are seeing Dopey Lemons back in P2, trailing a little bit on Ram, and we're gonna have a quick look at the tires real quick. Ram with the fastest lap. Ram is on hard tires, and it seems like going a little bit switcheroony as we're seeing a hard tire, medium tire, hard tire from Richard, Keitel with a medium tire, Fardbo with a hard tire, and all of this stuff. Friendly Dutch has lost a couple of positions, although he is on medium tires, and I'm not sure why he has lost that many positions. Let's get a quick look at the position changes, and we're seeing that Friendly Dutch has lost 3, Richard has lost 1, and it's going to be Friendly Dutch still in this position. And I think I saw someone crashing into the wall there. Very unfortunate. Michael has left the session, so that must be a pity one. And I think he's gonna retire on track. No, it's gonna be his AI driving for him, so that's great to see. Otherwise we would have seen a safety car. That's not always great to see. Friendly Dutch right now, right behind Dundries. Is it going to be enough flat out here on the main straight as they're going into Wall of Champions, taking a lot of grass on the inside there to gain as much time as possible, as he is trailing with 2:10s at the moment going into the Wall of Champions. And this is a very big obstacle for a lot of drivers because they don't really have enough runaway room there on the outside of that corner, as it seems like Dundries is really close to the Mercedes driver right now, and Michael has joined the lobby back, so I don't think he left the session on purpose, as it's almost going to be an overtake from Dundries, but I don't think it's going to happen here in sector 2, maybe in the hard braking zone here to the left hander, as he will have a great exit coming out of this corner, I think, because we didn't see some great exits from Fardba in his qualifying lap. Let's have a quick look. Is he going to make a move down the inside? It seems like he's sticking his nose down the inside, but it's not going to be enough. He's backing out of the move, and that's still going to be Fardba in P5. And Dundries is a little bit under attack from behind. Friendly Dutch is 4/10 into the zone, as it's going to be Dundries. Does he have a great exit coming out of this corner? It does seem like it, but it's not going to be enough, in my opinion. He does have the slipstream. Let's have a quick look with his POV. And yeah, he's trailing a little bit, so it's not going to be enough. We don't want these tires anymore, as it seems like already someone has a penalty, and that seems to be Fardba. Ram with another fastest lap, and Keitel with beat that lap. But of course, he has medium tires, so he is going to try and make a move on Richard work, because Richard is on hard tires at the moment. Let's have a look what he is going to be able to perform here in sector 2, sector 1, sector 2. And yeah, right now we're going on the way for sector 2. And to be more specific, of course, yeah, 6/10s. He's not going to be able to make a move here, but especially if he has a good exit coming out of turn 10, he might be able to make an overtake work. Steve with a 3-second penalty, but he is not up for a battle at the moment because he's all the way down in P14. And let's have a quick look with Keitel, 6/10s behind. Does he have a great exit coming out of this corner? It doesn't seem like it, because he almost crashed into the wall there, losing a little bit of his front wing. Luckily, that didn't really happen, as Richard seems to be going to the side to leave space for for Keitel, my apologies. As it seems like the Mercedes guys are doing pretty well. Friendly Dutch losing a couple of positions, and Dundries has lost his car there coming out of the Wall of Champions, and he's gonna lose a couple of positions. I don't think he's gonna be able to come on track safely, but he did manage to get it done. Startle is at the moment P7, so he's gonna try and get back to this little group between Fardba and Friendly Dutch. Dopey is 7/10s behind Ram, and I think Dopey is really trying to get that win today, because Marky is not in the lobby. Keitel is making a move on Richard at the moment, and I think Richard lost his car. Very unfortunate for Richard, but that's not gonna be a great way to start your Canadian Grand Prix. We're underway for lap 6 at the moment, as Richard has lost a couple of positions. He was back in P3, right now in P9. Heidel is a great exit coming out of the corner, and there is another yellow flag, and that's again gonna be an Alfa Romeo, but I think it's gonna be Kekelaars, as he crashed into sector 2 coming out of that little corner there, turn 6, turn 7. And let's get back to the front here, as it seems like Dopey Lemons is coming closer and closer to the Red Bull driver at the moment. Richard has made the move work on Thibaut, and I think Thibaut has a 3-second penalty, so that's not looking too great for him. He was getting a few positions, and he's got his teammate Dundries behind him. He's not really close yet, but that might change in a couple of laps. And Thibaut made up a few positions. He is on a medium tire though. Kegelaars with a 5-second penalty speeding in the pit lane, so that's not a great solution for the Belgian driver, as we're seeing Friendly Dutch quite close to the Mercedes driver right now. I'm gonna take another sip from my drink real quick. Pre-tense. Is there going to be an overtake happening, my apologies guys, here into turn 10? A great exit for Friendly Dutch, and it could mean something great happening for him. He didn't have much control coming out of that corner, losing a little bit of traction, and that costed him a few tenths, as he won't be able to make an overtake work. We want this telemetry up. I didn't really notice it wasn't up yet, as it seems like he's going to have DRS coming out of the Wall of Champions, but this DRS straight is really not good. Fardbe has lost his car. P8 right now. He is losing his car out of the Wall of Champions, and that means he has lost a couple of positions, and he's gonna lose another one to Thibaut at the moment. So yeah, that's really unfortunate. He is not gonna lose the position though. He is keeping it on the inside there, getting a dive bomb on Thibaut, and that's great to see. But of course, it's not gonna be great to see that he crashed his car, because he was gonna have a great battle with Friendly Dutch, as he got a few positions back from all those crashes that happened. We saw Richard, he's back in P7 though, so he's making a few positions up. But yeah, Richard, he lost a few positions. So did Fardbe, as Fardbe is having a little battle with Thibaut at the moment. He can't shake him off at the moment, and it seems like Richard is gonna set himself up for a move. He's 8 tenths slower though, so I don't think it's gonna happen, as he will have DRS here on the main straight, and I don't think Balsgot Ball has the DRS, and that will be a great solution for Richard, as he still has a little bit of ERS, and it doesn't seem like Balsgot Ball has got any DRS and ERS either. He does have the DRS now, I think, doesn't he? No, he doesn't actually. That's very unfortunate to see, as we're seeing a little bit of a train here behind Fardbe with both of the Haas drivers, as Dundries already made up 3 seconds in 1 lap, so he's showing some great pace at the moment. And these medium tires, it would come in handy if I would be able to see the tire degradation of every driver, as Thibaut caught himself another 3-second penalty, and I think that's his second one already, so he has a total of 6 seconds at the moment, as he is trying to dive on the inside there. It didn't really happen. Richard making a move on Balsgot Ball right now, here in sector 2, and yeah, I mean, that's a little DRS zone, but if you have a good exit, ooh, and we saw Balsgot Ball losing his car there into the wall, and he's right behind the wall there. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, and he is gonna have a pity one right now, because he is driving in the wall, and that might be a little bit of a little bit damage on his car, as he is back in P11 at the moment, and I don't think he has done a great job there driving his car in the wall, losing him a couple of positions, you know. I don't think it's allowed to reset on track on this in this league. So yeah, let's get back here, because I think Heidel has lost his car too, and that will be a P3 for Friendly Dutch. And I'm not sure who said in the chat Friendly Dutch is gonna win the Grand Prix, but it does look good for him for a podium today, as he is P3 at the moment. He had a great qualifying, and he continued his streak into the race, as he was having a great form. at the beginning of this Grand Prix, and right now he is in P3, so that means 15 points and a podium position for the Dutch driver Keitel. I mean, let's have a quick look what tire Albert is on. He is on medium tires at the moment. Keitel is also in medium tires, so we will be able to see the difference between both drivers, as it seems like Keitel is not really gaining any time, so that means Friendly Dutch is keeping his pace at the moment. I'm not really sure if he's gonna keep that for the whole race. Maintain that is the perfect word. As we just saw Dundries overtake Thibaut, we missed that unfortunately. Richard with a 3-second penalty. He's back in P6, trying to set himself up for a move on Starless into Sector 1 at the moment. Very difficult sector to make an overtake work. Turn 1 is basically the only turn where you can overtake properly. I'm not sure if that's the word, but he's right on his tail at the moment, 2/10, and he's not making dive bomb here on the inside. But I think if he has a great exit coming out of this corner, especially with the DRS, he will be able to make a move into turn, what is it, turn 8? I think it is. Yep, it is turn 8. And he's just gonna wait for the long straight, because I think that's one of the best overtaking opportunities, because you've got such a long straight and you've got the DRS extra, and he has saved a little bit of his battery. And I'm not sure how many Starless is. He has also got 30%. But yeah, he's right behind Starless. He doesn't have a great exit coming out of that corner, so that cost him a little bit of time, as he is still going to try and make it move and diving on the inside at the moment, and it is going to be enough, as we are finding Aston Martin right behind him. He does have the DRS again, and that's going to be a position gained for Richard, as he made a beautiful move on Starless on the inside there of the Wall of Champions. And it's going to be very close here between Fardbe and Dundries too, because Dundries is one of the faster drivers here in this league, as it seems like he touched Fardbe there on his tail, but he didn't lose the car. Very great car control from the Mercedes driver, as we had Dundries, who made it very difficult for Fardbe, but he managed to keep his car on track. Both of the drivers did. As I don't think Fardbe has a great exit coming out of this corner. Dundries 4/10 behind, as he is quite close to the Mercedes driver, so he's going to set himself up for a move just like Richard did on the main straight, where the driver will have DRS. And I think if you make the move on the main straight there, sector 3, the drivers who you just overtook aren't going to be able to make a move back on the start finish straight, and there is a safety car at the moment, so all the drivers that are on medium tires right now could go onto hard tires, and that's going to give a great solution for that safety car, because you will be able to benefit a little bit from that. I'm not sure who DNF'd. I think it's going to be Paul's Ball, and there are a couple of drivers coming into the pits, such as Friendly Dutch, Dundry, no, not Dundries, Starless, who was on hard tires. He came into the pits for medium tires. That's an interesting strategy, as we're seeing Thibaut coming into the pits for medium tires too. No, he still has to pick his tires, so he went from medium to hard tires, and it looks very great for Friendly Dutch at the moment, as he already made that pit stop work. He is only gonna be in P6, so that's not too many positions lost, as Ram, Dopey, Richard, Fardbe and Dundries still have to make the pit stop, and there is gonna be a safety car. So I think maybe what Ram has to do, I don't think it's gonna be a great solution though, but it's definitely gonna be better that what he is gonna do right now, as he is coming into the pits. Yeah, that was what I was thinking too. He might go on to medium tires, as he will have a little bit of a problem at the end of the race then, because these medium tires, I'm not sure if they're gonna last till the end of the race. And it's still gonna be 23 laps on these tires, and that's gonna be a difficult one for him to maintain. But yeah, maybe Friendly Dutch says Ram is the faster driver, I'm gonna let him go through, but I don't think that's something to do for Friendly Dutch, as it seems like Richard has come into the pits too, and he is gonna put on medium tires. So is Fardbe. He's going to put on soft tires. What is this strategy? Oh my days. No, this was a big mistake. He's going for soft tires. He's lost his front wing though, as he's going to lose a couple of positions. So is Richard, as he just found himself right behind Starless, so that's one position gained as they're going to line up after the safety car right now. And if you guys want to take a snack real quick or drink something, make sure to do that right now, because I'm gonna have a little bit of a what's it called, a break before I'm gonna talk again. So yeah, make sure to get those real quick, as we will be underway for the Canadian Grand Prix after the safety car has come into the pits. All right, guys, I'm back. Welcome for round 13, season 5 here of the SRM Esports. We're racing in Canada today, and there is a safety car going underway right now, and I'm not sure because it's looking a little bit cloudy in the air. There might be some rain coming in the future. We don't really know that because obviously we're in the combox, but I do have a partnership with a, I'm not sure what it's called, like a website creator dude, and he's gonna make a personalized pit box something. And then I will be able to see when the rain is coming. If there is any rain coming, I will also be able to see everyone's tire degradation, like the percentage your tires are wearing out and all of that stuff. If the drivers are faster each sector than the other drivers, and that's great to see, of course, because you're able to compare where the drivers are gaining and losing time compared to their main rivals. So everyone in the chat, how is everyone doing today? Having a great evening? I'm sure you're having a great evening because of course we are with VB Thomas at the moment having your as your commentator, and it's always a great pleasure to have you guys aboard. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I mean, it's a great experience here for the SRM Esports League. For me, well, for me as a commentator, of course, because they're giving me the opportunity to stream for them, as it's always a great league race. Seems like we are having a safety car though, so that's not a little bit. I mean, it's not. It's always more fun when you're having no safety car, because that means, I mean, that's not always true, because you're way closer at this moment, and you will have more overtakings happening after the safety car. And the safety car is coming in right now, so we're gonna get ourselves ready for the safety car to come in again. As we're having Ram leading the grid right now, Dopey, MP2, and he is on me. He's on our tires. I don't think he has pitted yet. Let's have a quick look. He has pitted. And it is going to be Dopey in P2 right now on the better strategy, in my opinion. And Ram is already going underway, and Dopey has been caught sleeping because he's already 8 tenths behind Ram. Dundries has been sleeping too. Friendly Dutch is a little bit closer, Fardbo with the 3-second penalty because he's got too many warnings. Keidel has been caught sleeping. He is 1 second behind already, and Richard is going to set himself up for the overtake on Keidel. We do have to keep in mind Richard is on medium tires, so his tires will fall off later during the race. So we're seeing some overtakings happening here between Steve and Thibaut, as Thibaut just lost a position, but I think Steve is on the medium tires, as that will be a little bit of a benefit here at the beginning of the race. Let's get back to the front here, as it seems like Dopey is already 2 seconds behind Ram, but he just has to keep himself concentrated, because of course he is on hard tires, so that's something to keep in mind, especially when the driver in front of you still has to do 20 laps on his medium tires, and that's going to be really difficult. But as I said at the beginning with the strategy prediction, you are able to put a soft medium strategy on this track. I think I've seen someone pull it out, and it was a great strategy. I mean, he's won the race by a couple of seconds, and yeah, great solution. But right now I'm not sure if he's going to make it 20 laps. They pitted on lap 13, I think. And he's still got many laps to go. Lap 17 right now ran with the fastest lap with a 113.2. Let's have a quick look if that has been beaten. 113.0 is the official fastest lap on this track, set by Sebastian Vettel, I think, in 2019. As Michael is having some overtakes right now on the Haas driver Thibaut, as it doesn't seem like he is showing some great pace at the moment. He's keeping his car behind the McLaren driver though, and I love this McLaren livery. Absolutely beautiful with the pink. I like it more than with the blue. I think they should do it for next season, but yeah, the blue is nothing. The purple and the pink is a little bit nicer, as we just saw Steve losing his car on track, and I think Walsey lost it too, I'm not quite sure. Where we want to get back at the front here, as Friendly Dutch finds himself into the DRS section within 1 second. But of course, it's not going to be DRS yet, because the drivers have to be 3 seconds after the safety car behind someone with 1 second, and you will have DRS. But for now, it's not looking like it's going to happen yet, because I think next lap you are having DRS, or maybe the lap after. Yeah, it's going to be this lap, because right before Keidel got his penalty, we saw that the notification was there. So yeah, the drivers will have DRS. I think we're going to see that in a few seconds, as the DRS detection zone will be in sector 2. So that's still going to be a few seconds, as Keidel, Richard, right now having a close battle, 2 tenths behind. And I think that's definitely going to be an overtake. Fardbo with another 3-second penalty, and he is going to have a pity one at the end of the race, because I think he already has 12 seconds of penalties. Let's have a quick look. 9 seconds. Okay, so he still has to get 3 more warnings, and he almost lost his car right there. Yellow flag in sector 1. That's going to be Steve. Richard is very close to Keidel now, and I think he's going to set himself up for the DRS zone in the main straight here in sector 3, coming out of turn 10, having a great exit, and you'll be good, as it seems like he's taking the wider line than the Mercedes driver, and he's definitely going to have a better exit. I think he has the DRS. Keidel doesn't have the DRS. He's 1.1 second behind. Let's have a quick look what the Alfa Romeo driver is going to do. He's going to have the slipstream, but so is Keidel, and that's not going to be a great overtaking opportunity, as I think that they're having a big battle here. Dundries, Keidel, and Richard is going to benefit from that, because I think Dundries had a little incident with Friendly Dutch, but nothing too serious, as I think that they made an overtake in a zone where it's not really suggested. The last 2 corners of the circuit are really difficult to make an overtake work, as Dundries is having some battles with Fardbo right now, but he managed to keep his position, P6 at the moment. And I think I see some water drops coming from the sky. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I do see water drops, so we are going to see some weather change in a few seconds, few minutes. It's depending on how fast this track is gonna soak underwater, and it's going to be Richard 1/10 behind the Mercedes driver, and there might be a double overtaking coming up, because I mean, if Friendly Dutch isn't going to have a great exit, and it doesn't seem like it. He's losing a little bit of traction, so it's going to be Keitel making the overtake on the Red Bull driver, and he's a little bit faster on the straight there because he has the DRS. Richard is going to benefit from that. Albert is going to close the door as coming into the braking zone. He just managed to keep his car on track, and we're seeing a Haas driver losing his car right there, and I think that's going to be Dundries, who is not being very lucky at the moment. Let's have a quick look at what the Red Bull driver is going to do, because he is quite close to the Mercedes driver, and so is the Alfa Romeo driver and the Mercedes driver right behind them. So there's a little bit of a DRS train going underway here in Sector 1. As Friendly Dutch got his first penalty. It's his second penalty already, so that's not going to be looking good for him, but he is going to have a little bit of a benefit compared to Richard because he is on medium tires. So he will be able to pull a little bit away from these drivers. Yeah, it's gonna all depend on the weather at the moment. He had made the move done right there. DRS is disabled, so that usually means that the track is too wet for dry tires. And I'm not sure when the drivers are gonna come into the pits. You might want to see the tires already. Who is gonna be the first driver coming into the pits? And I'm not sure if the track is too wet already. 3-second penalty for Ram, and Albert is gonna lose a few positions too. Richard and Fardba here. Fardba making the move on the inside there. He's gonna touch. Ooh, that was very close. Kegelars is the first driver to be on intermediate tires, and Fardba has lost position there. It was quite of an interesting overtake there. The Wall of Champions is usually not a place where you are seeing many great overtakes. It's usually ending with a someone in the barrier. Fardba is coming into the pits for intermediate tires, so that might be a little bit of a risky move already because he hasn't been seeing many drivers on the intermediate tires yet, but we want to see what he is compared to the top few drivers. So we want to get the leader up real quick, and we want to compare that a little bit. 37 seconds behind, but we have to take that in consideration. 37.2, and it doesn't seem like he is getting some great traction coming out of the corners. 37.5, as he is faster than the driver in front of him, especially into the corners, as he will have better traction coming out of that corner. So that's great to see. So yeah, it's definitely a situation to go into the pits right now and go for intermediate tires. And we might see a dive bomb coming into the pit lane here, as it's gonna be very yeah, we are gonna see that. I knew it. Keitel is not going to come into the pits yet, as he didn't think that it was suggested to go into the pits yet, but I think he has made a big mistake because he is not going to have many traction on the track at the moment. And I mean, maybe his strategy is going to be to stay on these hard tires. That might be an interesting strategy, but it's, I mean, I don't know. Michael is back in P5 because he was going to, well, he left the session around lap 2, lap 3, but right now he's in P5 with a great opportunity at a podium, because not many people are able to ooh, and there was a little bit of wheel banging. So yeah, not many people are able to drive in the wet weather correctly. I mean, they're not usually clean or whatever it's called. But yeah, I mean, Keitel has done a little bit of a strategical mistake as he stayed on his hard tires. Yeah, that was a mistake. Michael right now right behind Friendly Dutch, who is keeping his car on track though. So yeah, that's someone who is not really consistent, but it seems like he's very consistent here around Canada, gaining a few positions. I think with the race start, he has lost a couple of positions. He went from P4, I think it was P5, back to P7, P8, as there is a yellow flag into turn 1. And it's not looking great for Walsey, for the Ferrari team in general. Dopey Lemons has caught his first 3-second penalty, so that's not going to be great. Keitel coming into the pits, and he's going to lose a couple of positions. I think he's like going to lose positions to Michael, Richard, Fardba, maybe the Aston Martin driver. Depends on where he's going to come out of the pits. And I do think he's going to be able to get that move done. Although, not sure. I don't think he is. No, Keitel is going to be in front of the Aston Martin driver, as we're still seeing some close racing here from Michael and Friendly Dutch, as Michael is 7 tenths behind, and it seems like almost everyone except for Dundries is not keeping their car on track. Everyone has a penalty except for the Haas driver, who is gonna make a move here on his teammate Thibaut. And we want to have a quick look at the penalties, because Starless has already got 11 seconds, so that's going to be a great opportunity for Dundries to overtake him for that position. So that's going to be 2 extra points for him. And let's have a look at Michael at the moment, because he is quite close to Friendly Dutch, and I think there's going to be a overtaking opportunity into Sector 1, especially when he is this close. I'm not sure what the ERS state is right now. 30% for the Red Bull driver, 60% for the McLaren driver, as it is looking very great for him at the moment. Michael F1 2008, as I'm not sure, I don't think he's from 2008, because he's an adult man, but it might be the date then when he started playing. He might have chosen that, I'm not sure. But yeah, 7 tenths right now behind Friendly Dutch, but especially in the rainy weather, it's very difficult to make a move onto Canada, especially into those chicanes. I'm not sure if that's called a chicane. It's a fast chicane, you know. And yeah, it's really going to be very dangerous into those chicanes to make a move. And I think Michael is struggling a little bit to keep his car on track, because every time he's going into the corner and coming out of the corner, he's losing a little bit of traction. And it doesn't seem like Friendly Dutch is having the same problem. A yellow flag in Sector 2, and that's going to be Dundries, who has lost his car once again. So that's not going to be P8 for him. It might be P9, depending on how close he stays behind Thibaut. Let's have a quick look if anyone else is quite close for the move. I don't think it is, so this is going to be a little drinking pause. I'm not sure how I should call it. Michael right now, he is going to be up for the move. He is going to be closer than 1/10 though. And Friendly Dutch doesn't have a great exit coming out of the corner, but Michael wanted as good of an exit as he could get, and he lost a little bit of traction too. He tried to make the dive bomb there on the inside, but it didn't really work. He is going to be very close right now. Friendly Dutch, he slowed down a little bit, maybe to... Ooh, what is this? What is happening? Michael is not having some great Wi-Fi at the moment, as he is glitching all over the place. And I think that might be not so great for this battle, because he's really close. He's within 2 tenths, and that's usually within overtaking zone, trying to make a dive bomb on the inside. And Richard is also going to come into the battle, as he made the move done. I think he's going to have the slipstream from the Red Bull driver. He isn't actually. The Red Bull driver is going to give it. Ooh, what is this? Ooh, guys, this is so dangerous driving. I'm not sure if it's the weather, but yeah, Albert went. No, it was going to be Richard, went a little bit wide there. I mean, it's not wide, he went to the right side, and I think that caused some wheel banging, and he also almost ended up into the barrier. But yeah, Michael is definitely going to come back, because he's going to be furious though. After that incident, he lost 1 position, almost 2, as Richard just made the overtake work on Albert, and I think Albert is just trying to keep Michael behind him, because it was a too easy overtake for the Alfa Romeo driver at the moment. And how things are looking like right now, it's going to be Ram P1, Dopey in P2, Richard in P3, and Friendly Dutch still has that 9-second penalty, and Michael just has to keep it within 3 seconds of Friendly Dutch, and he's going to end up in P4. So yeah, great race once again from Richard, Michael, and Friendly Dutch, who are usually the 2 drivers who are not keeping their car on track during the actual race, surprisingly being P4 and P5. Although they have a couple of penalties. Friendly Dutch has got 9 seconds and Michael has got 6 seconds. Fardba also has 12 seconds, and they're coming quite close to each other, but I do think that Fardba is not going to be able to gain any positions, because Keitel is also very close. And yeah, it's going to be a 5-way battle in my opinion. 4-way battle, my apologies, because Richard is already going for that 2-second gap between himself and Friendly Dutch. Michael 5 tenths behind. Fardba 2 tenths behind, and if he's going to have a great exit coming out of this corner, he might be able to make an overtake though. But he did choose for the tighter line into that corner, so that means he doesn't have a great exit coming out of this corner. Michael did have a big snap there, so that's not going to be a great solution for him. And yeah, it's looking like a great battle here at the front, fighting for P4 at the moment. And Keidel is going to try and get that before. Obviously he has 6 seconds of penalties, and if he's keeping it close to Friendly Dutch, he's gonna get 2 positions in one, because obviously Fardba has 12 seconds of penalties, Friendly Dutch has 9 seconds of penalties, Keidel only has 6, and the only driver he has to worry about right now is gonna be Michael. Even though Michael is having 6 seconds penalties, he's still able to make the move done in a couple of laps. It's still 7 laps to go at the moment, so that's great to see. I mean, 6 laps, you know. Fardba right now with the overtake on Michael, so that's a great overtake from the Mercedes driver, as I think Michael caught a little warning there, because he crossed into the track a little bit too fast, cutting the corner there on the inside. And let's have a look if Michael is going to make the dive bomb. I don't think he is, as he's got Keidel right behind him, and maybe the task for Fardba is to keep up hold back Michael so that Keidel can make the move done, because obviously both drivers are having 6 seconds of penalties. And it seems like Friendly Dutch is coming a little bit closer to Richard. No, it is going to be a Ferrari driver who has lost his car. I think that's going to be Walsey, right? Yeah, Walsey, who is not really sustainable in the wet weather conditions. So yeah, it seems like Ram is really up for the race win here. Dopey in P2. Friendly Dutch has caught another 3 seconds of penalty, so now it's all to play for between Friendly Dutch and Fardba, because they both got 12 seconds of penalties. And now it's going to be a 2-way battle between Michael and Keidel, and Fardba and Friendly Dutch. And it seems like Friendly Dutch didn't have a great exit coming out of that corner. We saw that already multiple times there. He does have the better straight line speed, I think. Fardba is using all of his ERS, but it seems like Friendly Dutch was using all of his ERS, but it seems like Fardba has got the straight line speed set up, and especially in the rainy weather, that's a little bit more how do I say this, coming in handy. As that's very dangerous driving from Friendly Dutch, as he is trying to defend from Michael at the moment, pushing him onto the grass, so that's not really a sportsmanship like driving. But yeah, nobody crashed out, luckily. But yeah, is Michael still going to be able to come close to these guys? 5 laps to go, 6 laps to go, somewhere in between that, as they are still having a great battle there at the front. P4 is for Fardba at the moment, although he has 12 seconds of penalties. So Keidel is definitely going to overtake him if he doesn't get another 3 seconds of penalties. Michael is also going to overtake him, but I think he has 2 warnings already for his 3rd penalty, so that he has got to watch out, cutting all the corners. Friendly Dutch right now trying to defend from Keidel, as Keidel doesn't have a great exit coming out of that corner. Turn 10 is a very difficult corner to try and understand how you have to take that corner. Let's have a quick look. If he is faster on the main straight, it does seem like it, but he has saved so many ERS at the moment. Friendly Dutch has got 0. Fardba has got 25, but that's not too much either. Michael has 15, and Keidel is here with 80%, so I think he has to use a little bit more ERS to make sure that he is capable of overtaking these guys. I mean, here's the thing, he doesn't have to overtake them actually. Hello Shukriye, how are we doing today? So yeah, he actually doesn't have to overtake him yet, because he has 6 seconds of penalties. The 2 drivers in front of him have 12 seconds, so he can just be a little bit slower, a little bit safer on the throttle, to make sure he is going to overtake these guys on penalties at the end of the race. And there's still going to be 5 laps to go. Yellow flag in sector 1, and I'm going to be curious. Ooh, Thibaut with another 3 seconds of penalties, but Keidel has touched the wall there on the outside of the corner, as that might cause a little bit of wing damage, so that's not going to be great, as I do think he has wing damage there. And I think that's, well, here's the thing, he has a buffer of 6 seconds, but he also already lost 1 second to the drivers in front of them. And yeah, I mean, Michael is also very close, so he has to watch out for him too. But I mean, if he's only going to lose a position to Michael, it's not going to be a big deal. Fardbo with another 3-second penalty, so he's already going to be at 15 seconds of penalty, so both drivers don't really have to worry about that. Neither does Friendly Dutch, because he is still going to be overtaking Fardbo, even though he isn't going to overtake him. Apparently, Kegelaars is the best driver Larcy has ever seen. That's a bit ironically because he's all the way at P12, but he is keeping his car on track, so big props to him, because I mean, even though you're 2 minutes behind, it doesn't mean you're a bad driver. Maybe you're just unlucky, maybe you're not really good with rainy weather. Maybe you're not good with rainy weather, that's the thing, you know. And yeah, I mean, if you're not good at rain weather, neither am I, you're gonna lose a lot of time. And I mean, props to him that he's keeping his car on track. I do think he's keeping his car on track, isn't he? Yep, he is actually keeping his car on track. So yeah, congratulations to him. He's one of the newer drivers, so that's great to see. Let's have a look back at P5 right now, because Friendly Dutch is on their way to get I think it's P6, because Michael and Keitel is going to overtake them. Michael is losing a little bit of pace at the moment, being behind with 1.5 seconds. Keitel is behind with 8/10. Friendly Dutch is going to set himself up for the move there coming out of that corner. 1 second, guys. There we go. So we're going underway for a move here from Keitel on Friendly Dutch. I don't think Keitel has to do this. He doesn't have to take any risk at the moment, because it's looking very great from him. He is gonna get P4, and I think Dopey Lemons has caught a little bit of an incident here, and I think we've missed that. But Richard is looking like he's gonna get P2, and that's gonna be 15 points for Dopey, so he's gonna come a little bit closer. He's gonna trail by 18 after this result, and he might have a broken front wing or something. I'm not sure if we are able to see that. It doesn't seem like it. Let's have a quick look. This is better. Yes, we don't want that loud sound anymore. Maybe I can put the sound a little bit up, because now it's really quiet. And yeah, there's still gonna be Michael with a 3-second penalty, so that's not gonna look very great for him. Friendly Dutch has been overtaken, but it's not a biggie for him, because obviously he is going to overtake Fardba anyways, and Keitel is having 6 seconds of penalty, so he's not gonna come close. And it seems like the Mercedes guys are doing a great job at the moment here in Canada. Mercedes, well known to be a good car around Canada, with Lewis Hamilton winning 7 times here in the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. As I'm not sure if Keitel is going to make a move there on the outside. I do think he is, because Fardba is going to make it easy for Keitel to be overtaken, as he's going to try and hold back Friendly Dutch and Michael. I don't think there is any necessary intention to do that. Ooh, Friendly Dutch is going to stick it down the inside, and that was a very dangerous move. Ooh, guys, what are we doing? Friendly Dutch just lost the position to Michael, and I think the Red Bull driver is one of the most dangerous drivers I've seen, because he's making a dive bomb into every corner, and that's not really always the great solution to make an overtake work. Just work on your exits coming out of the corner and in the rain. It's a better solution to do that than making a dive bomb into every corner. Michael might be overtaking Fardbo right now, but it's not really necessary, because all the drivers have different penalties. And yeah, I mean, if they're going to overtake them or if they're not going to overtake them, it doesn't really matter, because that means they're going to be behind each other anyways. and with such big penalties, I mean, it's not really going to be a solution, you know. Let's have a quick look. Keidel is not keeping up with Dopey. Dopey right now 3 seconds behind Richard, and he's finding a space back again, but he might be a little unfortunate not being able to drive in the wet weather because he's losing a little bit of time to Richard, and Dopey also has a 6-second penalty, so he's definitely not going to be able to overtake. And let's get back here to Michael, as it is going to be the final lap here for the race. And who is gonna come across the line first? It is gonna be Fardba. No, it's gonna be Keidel for the last lap here around the Canadian Grand Prix. 7 seconds behind Dopey, and it's not gonna be close. 15 seconds penalty for Fardba, so all he has to do is keep Michael behind him. Ooh, friendly Dutch has a 15-second penalty, so he's not gonna trump Fardba either. There is a yellow. No way! No way! Ram has lost his car. Ram has lost his car. Does he have front wing damage? It doesn't seem. It does seem like it. So this might be a great opportunity for Richard to come any closer. Is this gonna give a great last race solution? 5 seconds, 4 seconds. I don't think it's gonna be enough though. It's just not gonna be enough, as that is going to be the race winner Ram being very lucky there, because he has a broken front wing on the left side there. Coming across the line for the Canadian Grand Prix, here's your winner, the Red Bull driver Richard, coming across P2, as he is going to score some great points for the Alfa Romeo team. Dopey Lemons coming across the line in P3 with 6 seconds of penalties. Now it's going to be the question, who's going to come down across the line? Keidel P4, Fardba P5, as he's going to drop down a few positions. Michael P5, Fardba P6 then. Friendly Dutch P7, as he got that unfortunate penalty at the end of the race. Tarles coming across the line, he's going to lose a position to Dundries. And Dundries, let's have a quick look. I do think he's going to lose a position. He actually is though. Thibaut coming across the line, he's still in the Wall of Champions at the moment. So let's have a quick look. P10 for him, as Walsey already crossed the line, so did Kegelaars, so that's not gonna be something for them, as this is going to be your Canadian Grand Prix of the SRM Esports. I thank you so much for watching, as we're still gonna have a little bit. I think it's been glitched, guys. Kegelaars P12 right now, coming across the line, and that might be the end of the Grand Prix here. Yeah, it is actually. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the standings. Of course, we want to see the podium real quick, as I'm trying to get driver of the day, Fardba. I think he gained a couple of positions though. He started all the way back, but so did Albert. He started all the way back. No, he didn't actually. Who started all the way back? I'm not sure, guys. This is going to be your podium. Ram coming outside the paddock at the moment to score some great points for Red Bull. He's been keeping company. I'm not sure. The guys next to him are keeping him company on the podium, the Alfa Romeo driver and the Aston Martin driver, and that's gonna be a great Grand Prix at the moment. We had some rain at the end of the race, so that was going to be I'm not sure if that was a great thing, because obviously you're not able to see many overtakes in the rainy weather. So let's have a quick look. Ram P1, he's got the fastest lap with a big margin. Richard in P2, Dopey Lemons in P3, and that hasn't changed since the qualifications that we got in P5. Keidel, P4, my apologies. Michael gained a few positions. He started from P9 back to P5. Fardba started in P7, is in P6, so I think Michael is a bigger driver of the day though. Friendly Dutch at the moment started in P4, lost a couple of positions, but I think that's mainly because of his penalties. Dundry started in P6, back in P8. Starless has gained a few positions. He has gained 3. Thibaut in P10, Walsey in P11, Kegelaars in P12, Steve in P13, as he had a very unfortunate race, and Paul's got ball all the way at back of the grid in P14 as he DNF'd early in the race. So let's have a quick look at the standings. I'm gonna sort it a little bit better because this doesn't look great. Oh my days, guys. Struggling. Alright. So this is going to be your championship at the moment. P1 is still Marky. P2 is going to be Dopey Lemons coming a little bit closer. And I think... Oh, Liam didn't really gain any points either because he hasn't been driving today. Keidel is, I think, going to gain a position. He actually isn't, though, because there is too big of a gap. But I think Richard might be gaining a position on Keidel. Depends on how many points he gets. Steve isn't going to get any points. Friendly Dutch is going to get a couple, but I don't think it's going to be enough to overtake Steve. And then I don't think there's going to be any change in the standings. Although Ram is going to get a few positions. He's going to be all the way in P16, P17, somewhere around there, as he just won the race. Here in Canada, I'm going to do a little quick of a summary of this beautiful Grand Prix we've had today. So it was round 13 of season 5 here of the SRM Esports as we were driving in the Canadian Grand Prix today. It was a very interesting race. We had a great race start with no incidents, although someone lost his car after turn 2, but not a biggie. Then we had not many overtakes, in my opinion. We saw a few crashes from the Ferraris at the back of the grid, and then there was a safety car. And after the safety car, things have been changing because I think Albert, Friendly Dutch, went onto different tires. I'm gonna mute the music real quick. So yeah, Friendly Dutch went on to hard tires, but then the rain came, and I don't think it was a great solution to go on to hard tires. I think he should have just stayed on the medium tires. Still, he could have switched to the intermediate tires. But yeah, of course, the drivers don't really know when the rain is coming. So yeah, all the things changed when the rain was there. We saw a couple of position changes. Till the last lap, we saw a great battle between Michael, Friendly Dutch, Keidel, and Fardbe. Unfortunately, a couple of drivers from there had some penalties, and at the back of the grid, we didn't see many changes. We saw Dundrees crash a couple of times, we saw Thibault crash a couple of times, and then we had drivers like Walsey and what was his name again? The Belgian driver, the Alfa Romeo driver, at the back of the grid. He was keeping on driving, so props to him as he gained not too many time, but he is practicing his consistency. That's what I would call him. So yeah, thank you many thanks. I'm not sure how I should call it. Thank you a lot for watching this Grand Prix, as it is Phoebe Thomas as your commentator, like each week. Unfortunately, the last few races have been streamed on my channel, so if you want to have a look at the past few streams, it is going to be Phoebe Thomas SS on YouTube, as this one will be streamed from now on on the SRM Esports channel. Yeah, I thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you next week as we will be driving on. Let's have a quick look. We will be driving on Imola, and it's going to be a sprint race, so that's great to see.